Hey, how's it going, Joker fam? Your boy Hot Hot Joker here, man. And today we're going to be going over Demon Slayer Season 1. Pretty much doing another review again. Again, you guys have been showing that last video that I put out a lot of love. Right now, that video has done more views on my channel right now than the other previous videos I had put together. So again, really does mean a lot because you guys are liking this type of content. So of course, we're going to go ahead and keep it going. So let's go ahead, jump straight into it. Demon Slayer Season 1. So we start this story off with a young boy by the name of Tanjiro. Now Tanjiro lives on this mountain along with this massive ass family. This dude has a big ass family, bro. Like he's got like 10 siblings or something stupid like that. It's crazy. They trying to repopulate the earth on that mountain. Like it's crazy. But either way, Tanjiro is getting ready to go down to the city to, I guess, sell some things and stuff like that. So he ends up leaving his family on top of the mountain. When he goes down there, he ends up doing everything that he needs to do, and on his way back, it's starting to obviously get dark. So he stops at this dude's house, who obviously knows his family quite well, and says, "Hey, you can go ahead and sleep here for the night. It's not safe for you to be out there. There's demons that roam around." Now, keep in mind, at this part in the show, Tanjiro has never seen a demon. You know what I'm saying? Which is quite interesting since he lives in a mountain where you would probably think you would at least see one, but apparently not. But somehow this dude's family was slain by demons. So I don't know how Tanjiro's gone this long with 10 of his siblings never seeing a demon as big as his family is. But I digress. Either way, he ends up staying the night over at this guy's house. And again, there is quite a bit of foreshadowing in this show. And he pretty much essentially says that he feels bad for him because, he's all alone. You about to be in the same boat, Tanjiro. Like, you don't even know it yet. So obviously, when sunrise comes, he ends up getting back home. And, of course, his family is completely dead. Outside of one, which will be his younger sister, Nezuko. Now, he goes ahead and picks up Nezuko and tries to take her back to the city for help. At this point, Nezuko starts turning into a demon. And obviously, now things get very real because this is his first time dealing with the demon. So he's trying to have Nezuko fight the urge of essentially killing him. And while all this is happening, we finally enter in our first Hashira, Gayu. Now, Gayu comes in swinging, already trying to kill Nezuko off rip. He ain't asking questions, he ain't asking for names. He's just trying to kill this demon and get it done with. But as it is, Tanjiro tries to defend her sister, tries to cover her, tries to protect her as much as he possibly can. Obviously, Gayu ends up getting a hold of her, and Tanjiro starts crying, like bawling, like trying to beg this guy to just not kill his sister. And Gayu goes off on him. It is the crazy, pretty much telling him like, "Yo, stop being a bitch, stop all this crying, get up off your knees, and like do something about it." And Tanjiro does explain to him that he will try to find a cure and things of that nature. And pretty much Guyu's like, you need to have some resolve. You have no skills, you have nothing, and you're gonna do all this how? You know what I mean? And when it gets to Gayu, like he does have a slight flashback, more kind of foreshadowing of obviously he's been through some things with dealing with a situation like this. And he notices that by him protecting this demon, obviously his sister, that maybe there's a glimpse of hope that he can do it. But he doesn't know for sure. So Gayu ends up stabbing Nezuko to see what Tanjiro does, to see how he reacts. Because obviously if he wanted to kill Nezuko, which is what he was originally there to do, if he wanted to do that, he could have just done it. So he stabs her to find out what Tanjiro is really made of. So Tanjiro launches a counterattack, pretty much almost injuring Gayu after being rendered unconscious. But Nezuko breaks free. Once this happens, she ends up showing that she is going to protect her brother no matter what, and ends up attacking Gayu. Now, obviously Gayu knocks her out. Now, after all this is over, Tanjiro wakes up with Nezuko still knocked out, and Gayu tells Tanjiro that him and his sister need to go to a mountain to seek out Mr. Arukadaki. Now, Mr. Arukadaki is going to help him become a demon slayer in hopes to help him find a way to help save his sister. So That's what their mission is now. Now, along the way, Tanjiro and Nezuko end up running into a demon. Now, this demon is in the middle of eating humans, and obviously Nezuko is a demon. So she has not consumed any human blood, but it still has her stunned and locked into all these bodies around her. Within that time, Tanjiro gets attacked by said demon. Tanjiro does his best to hold him off, and Nezuko eventually snaps out of it, and honestly, kicks the greatest field goal I have ever seen. Looking like Justin Tucker when he broke that record, bro. Now, also keep this in mind, Nezuko, since she's a demon, she cannot herself kill other demons. We end up finding this out, but Tanjiro does deliver the final blow, helping destroy the demon. Now, here's the interesting thing about Demon Slayer. Keep in mind, all these demons used to be human. So all of them have some kind of sad backstory or whatever. And it puts Tanjiro, like, in his feelings somehow. Like, this dude was legit just having, like, a full-blown, full-course meal with humans. And you over here sad because this demon has a sad story? Like, are you, like, what? But after all that, Tanjiro and Nezuko end up finally getting to Mr. Urukadaki. Now, Nezuko ends up falling asleep for this 2-year span that Tanjiro will be training under him. And within this time, Mr. Urukadaki pretty much tells him that your only goal is to essentially cut this big-ass boulder. Now, while on this mountain, obviously Mr. Urukadaki has a whole bunch of traps laid out for him. So while he's running on this mountain and doing all this other stuff, he has to also avoid traps too, eventually training his body to be strong enough to wield the sword and cut the boulder like Mr. Urukadaki asked him to do. But while he's doing that within his training, he meets 2 other students, Sabito and Makomo. Now, Makomo is just kind of laying in the back. She's just kind of chilling. But Sabito has been giving Tanjiro the work for the past 2 years. Now, this is like not even has anything to do with the actual training itself. But like when it comes to cutting this boulder, he pretty much has to defeat Sabito before he can cut the boulder. So 2 years of just getting mollywopped by this dude. But after that, Tanjiro does end up squaring up with him one last time, and he does end up defeating him and cutting the boulder simultaneously. And with that, Mr. Urukadaki tells him, you are ready for the final selection. Now, the final selection takes place on this other mountain that is covered with demons. Now, again, the demons are not at their max power because this is really just for the training for you to prepare to be a demon slayer. But the danger is still there, obviously. Now, when Tanjiro gets to the final selection, he ends up obviously meeting other people who are going to be in that final selection. These people will obviously come up later in the show. Tanjiro ends up running into a demon who's able to sprout multiple arms out of its body. We then find out that this demon has an obsession with killing only Mr. Urukadaki's students. After which we do end up finding out that Sabito and Makomo were killed by this set demon. Of course, Tanjiro wins the fight and avenges the fallen students. Once again, another heartfelt speech by a demon who has killed kids. Killed kids. Like, what kind of Pennywise ass demon is this? And Tanjiro feels sorry for him. I don't get it. I really don't. With that, Tanjiro is given the materials to finally make his sword, which after making it, it turns into a black sword. Now, this is very unusual because typically some of the swords that have been given in the past turn red, turn blue. It really just depends. But there has never been a black sword, so there's not too much info on it. Now, at the time of me watching this, I figured that maybe somehow him having a black sword would give him the ability to use other concentration forms. But with the final selection over, Tanjiro finally getting his sword, Nezuko is finally awake. They go on their first official mission as Demon Slayer. So Tanjiro and Nezuko end up in a city where a demon is killing a bunch of people. But to be more specific, the demon is killing women, young women, and obviously eating them. This demon has told Tanjiro that pretty much the younger the better, that it does work for him. Like, all right, R. Kelly, like, chill out, bro.
Didn't do this stuff. This is not me. I'm fighting for my life.
But either way, Tanjiro ends up fighting this demon, and the demon ends up splitting into 3 separate demons. Now, Keep this also in mind. Tanjiro has done everything he can to protect Nezuko up until this point, simply because he still views her as his younger sister. He doesn't view Nezuko as a demon. But Nezuko is a demon, so she can fend for herself. She has her own strength, her own powers. So what ends up happening is that Tanjiro ends up fighting two of the demons, and Nezuko was end up protecting a man and a woman from the third demon. So this is our first time seeing Nezuko actually fight. The punt to the other demon, kicking that dude's head off, I really wouldn't count that. But this is her first time actually fighting, which is very interesting because from what we know, Nezuko doesn't really have a background in any type of fighting, really. So this is all just coming naturally to her. Tanjiro ends up fighting the other two demons, defeating them, and Nezuko renders the third one pretty much useless. Now, when things are officially calmed down, Tanjiro asks the third demon, "Hey, what do you know about Muzan?" Which the demon pretty much replied, "Yo, I'm not telling you anything. Like what you think this is? I'm not snitching. Like, Muzan is not to be trifled with. He ain't been talked about. He ain't about none of that. So all this snitching and stuff, like, with you the police, like, I'm not doing that." So what ends up happening after Tanjiro ends up questioning this demon, this was referenced in early on, probably around the episode 1. Tanjiro has a very keen sense of smell. So with that, he's able to smell certain things, whether it's on people, demon blood, whatever the case is. He notices with this demon, he went from fighting to being aggressive to then being fearful when being asked about Muzan. But eventually the demon does end up attacking Tanjiro, which he does end up taking the demon out. Now once things officially calm down, Tanjiro is just chilling, eating some noodles, and then he catches a very familiar scent. A scent that he has smelled before. He ends up tracking down the scent and realizing that it's the demon that killed his family. It's Muzan. Muzan is in the area and he's being tracked down by Tanjiro. Tanjiro does end up eventually catching up to him, and then once he grabs him and turns him around, Muzan's holding a kid. Which then catches Tanjiro completely off guard, because here he is trying to slay this demon for killing his entire family, and this demon is holding a kid, and the kid is not frightful, he's not scared, he doesn't even know if the kid and the wife, because there is a wife with them too, he doesn't even know if they know this is Muzan, the demon. I will say this one thing about Muzan though. Muzan, he looking fresh, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Dude got the Michael Jackson hat on and everything, bro. I thought he was gonna start doing the Michael Jackson lean and everything. But getting back to this, Muzan does end up turning a random human in the crowd of people that they're around. He ends up turning one of them into a demon to then distract Tanjiro so they can make their escape. I wouldn't necessarily call it an escape. They kind of just walked away. No, it's just kind of like a slow, kind of like, that was weird, kind of walk away type thing. But regardless, Tanjiro ends up having to hold down this demon to stop him from pretty much killing anybody else in the crowd of people. Now, while Tanjiro is holding this demon down, he gets assistance from two other demons, Tamio and Rushiro. Now, Tamio ends up helping Tanjiro not only with the demon, but also helping him kind of figure out what's going on with Muzan being in the city and things of that nature. Ushiro ends up taking them to a hidden kind of house type castle thing, not castle, but more so of a house that's being hidden from not only just humans, but also from demons. Now within this time frame, we end up going back to Muzan. Now Muzan is taking his family somewheres, car picks him up and takes him away somewheres. So he ends up having a flashback himself. The earrings that Tanjiro wears are similar to the earrings that pretty much was from a Hashira that almost killed him way back when. So essentially Muzan puts out a hit. He gets two demons to find Tanjiro and kill him. Now as far as the demons that end up attacking Tanjiro and Nezuko, these demons don't really have a name, I don't think. It's just Tamari demon and the arrow demon. Now the arrow demon has the ability to change the directions of whatever his arrows are touching. Tamari is just honestly a demon who just wields these basketball type thing. I don't know, they're just balls. I don't know what else to say about them. But because she throws these balls with such force, they knock limbs off. Too bad Yusuri and Nezuko ended up finding this out the hard way. Yusuri was just in the house and he got his head completely taken off. Once again, demons can't kill other demons, so it is what it is. He eventually regenerated. Obviously, so did Nezuko. But Nezuko was trying to kick the ball back at her, and well, obviously that didn't work out. Now, Tanjiro ends up using a breathing technique and eventually takes out the arrow demon, but obviously the Tamari demon is still alive. Now, once Nezuko is fully regenerated, she is given something by Tamio, which will help her regenerate a little bit faster. But the strength that she got back after regenerating somehow allowed her to be able to kick the ball back at the demon. So they were essentially just having a damn near a kickball tournament right in the middle of the battlefield, which then Nezuko ends up kicking the ball back with more force, but luckily the Tamari demon ended up moving her head, dodging the ball itself. Now Tamio ends up using a spell on that demon in order to kind of render her mind weakened. Now I don't know how this really works because we've only seen it happen once, but I believe if a demon ends up speaking Muzan's name, it somehow breaks a curse that is within them. Now, this only pertains to specific demons, not Nezuko, and neither does it apply to Tamio or Yusuri. Tamio actually figured out a way to kind of break this curse between her and Muzan, so this way Muzan is not affecting her in the way that Muzan affects other demons. So the Tamari demon accidentally ends up speaking Muzan's name, and well, this ends up happening. Now, once the dust settles from this fight, Tamio ends up giving pretty much Tanjiro and Nezuko somewhat of a mission. Now, Tamio believes that she can cure Nezuko of her being a demon, but she needs not only samples of Nezuko's blood because of how unique she is, but she needs samples of demons close to Muzan. She will need some of the blood of the 12 Kizuki. Now, the Kizuki are the demons that are closest to Muzan by rank. Now, as you guys have probably seen from my video going over that in the Swordsmith Village, you guys have already seen the upper 6, upper 5, like I said, whatever you want to call it. But those are part of the 12 Kizuki. Now, those are the higher ranks. There are lower rank Kizukis also that are 6 below. Sadly as it is, they found out after the fight that these demons were impersonating one of the 12 Kizuki. Neither one of them are any type of upper rank demon or lower rank demon at all. So now Tanjiro and Nezuko are on to their next mission, but at least they have an idea of what to now expect more of when it comes to fighting stronger demons. Now along their way, they meet Zenitsu. Now Zenitsu was one of the people that were in the final selection. Zenitsu is probably, he's got to be one of the most bitch-made characters in all of anime. Keep in mind, my anime selection ain't too broad, but I gotta say, he is so big. He cries more than Tanjiro when he kills a demon. It's insane. But I don't know how he was able to get through the final selection. I don't know how he became a demon slayer. We do end up getting kind of like a little showing of what Zenitsu can do, but it really is just overshadowed by how bitch made he is. So now Zenitsu has joined Tanjiro and Nezuko on their journey. Now, along the way, they end up running into another demon. Now, this time, this demon used to be one of the Kizuki, but his rank ended up getting stripped by Muzan. So, he is pretty much doing the same thing as any other demon, but his power is a little bit different. He's able to now control the room that he now occupies. But also we're introduced to a new character. Now, this character is by far one of my favorite main characters in the series, Inosuke. Now, Inosuke just want all the smoke. He want to fight anyone, anybody, anytime. It don't matter. Inosuke want the smoke, bruh. Tanjiro, when they get there, Tanjiro is trying to protect these humans from the demon. And pretty much Inosuke is trying to like, hey yo, like don't worry about them kids. What about these hands though? What's up? The demon that they end up fighting is Kogai. Now there are other demons that do occupy this space with him, and Zenitsu and Inosuke end up getting separated from Tanjiro, and they end up having to fight separate demons. This is when Zenitsu finally shows me a little something. But here's the thing, he does way more crying in the show than he does this. But when Zenitsu becomes unconscious, he ends up tapping into. He's just becoming a real nigga. That's all it is to it. He just becomes a real nigga finally. Now, through all the fighting that's going on in the house, eventually Tanjiro is able to kill the demon that is controlling the house. But after everything is said and done, Inosuke gets a scent of another demon, that being Nezuko. Now, Inosuke only knows, obviously, fighting and obviously killing demons. Obviously, Zenitsu knows that Tanjiro protects this box, so he can't allow Inosuke near it. He protects the box as much as he can, but Inosuke is just dog walking Zenitsu. Like, Zenitsu can't even fight back. By the time Tanjiro gets out of the house with the other humans, he sees this. And, bro, Tanjiro, he launches a punch out of Dragon Ball Z type shit, bro. Like, this punch ends up breaking Inosuke's ribs. But essentially, Tanjiro tells Inosuke, hey, it's against the rules to pretty much fight amongst ourselves, which is true. The Demon Slayer Corps does not fight amongst themselves. They only fight demons, and that's it. And Inosuke said, and man, we can put these swords down. It ain't nothing to it. We can fight hand to hand. I'm good with that. Now, here's the thing, and I know as good as the animation is with the fight scenes with the swords and stuff like that, they did the hand-to-hand combat against Tanjiro and Inosuke. They did that hand-to-hand combat very, very well. I do wish they would implement more of those type of fight scenes. But again, I haven't seen a hand-to-hand combat since this particular part, Inosuke versus Tanjiro. So it is what it is. But once again, after everything was said and done, Tanjiro, Nezuko, Inosuke, and Zenitsu were about to leave. And of course, Inosuke's like, he's like, bro, but still, man, you need to run me my fade again. Where my rematch at? Like, bro, like, Tanjiro ain't trying to do that, bro. Like, but once again, like I said, he just want all the smoke. It don't matter. But after everything is said and done, they end up making their way to Mount Natagomo. Here on this mountain, there is a family of demons that live on this mountain. Now, this family is obviously a band of just different types of demons that are pretty much under the control, in the sense, of one particular demon. And this demon's name is Ru, one of the 12 Kizuki. But once again, because of how big the demon's family is, they all end up getting split up again. Now, with everything going on, obviously, with Tanjiro and everybody else, they have to end up fighting not only just this big family of demons, but obviously someone that is a 12 Kizuki. And obviously, it would help so much if one of the Hashiras would come in and help, right? So, Gayu obviously makes a return back to help out, along with another Hashira, Shinobu. Now, Shinobu is more so of a poison type specialist. She's an insect Hashira, so she more so specializes in poisons to kill demons. So, whereas other Hashiras, at least the ones up until this point, normally deal with demons with just decapitation. But during the fight between Tanjiro and Ru, obviously at this point, Ru sees how much Tanjiro protects Nezuko. So at some point in time, Nezuko ends up getting captured by Ru. She ends up getting strung up. So now it's just Tanjiro and Ru fighting one-on-one. Now up until this point, Tanjiro has been using water concentration to pretty much win a good amount of his battles. But at some point in the fight, Tanjiro's sword ends up breaking. But he does try to continue to utilize it in the fight. And during a particular scene, Tanjiro goes from water concentration to sun concentration. But as Tanjiro closes the gap to try to pretty much kill Ru, at the same time, Nezuko, while she is strung up, learns a blood demon art, which pretty much allows the blood that she has to pretty much combust into flames. Some of that blood ends up ending on Tanjiro's broken sword, and it ends up giving, well, this dope-ass animation. So, there it is. Tanjiro ends up killing the 12 Kizuki. At least that's what we thought. Somehow, Ru ends up decapitating himself. He ends up just taking off his own head, which kind of keeps him alive. Since technically speaking, he wasn't killed by a demon slayer, he still was able to regenerate and obviously not lose the fight, which then renders Tanjiro pretty much out of options. He's pretty much done. And as Ru is about to deliver the final blow to Tanjiro, Gayu comes in and saves the day. After the smoke clears and everybody's pretty much beaten up, battered, and bruised, Shinobu realizes that there's one demon still left alive, Nezuko. And obviously Tanjiro gets up and protects Nezuko, which Shinobu notices this. Now, keep in mind, now for the Demon Slayer Court, there's not really that many rules, but two of which they're very simple to follow. Protect humans, kill demons. Protecting demons ain't in there. And the fact that Tanjiro is protecting Nezuko goes against the Demon Slayer law. So Shinobu captures Tanjiro and Nezuko and takes them back to Demon Slayer Court. Now, here at the Demon Slayer Court, we meet the rest of the 9 Hashiras. Now, keep in mind, I'm not going to go through every single one of them, just to, because some of them are not really important just yet at this point in time. But one of my favorite ones, I love how they did this, and the Japanese voice actor for this he's an absolute beast. Rengoku. Now Rengoku, he is just so sure of himself and everything he said. Like, if Rengoku was trying to pitch you an idea of something, you will believe him off rip, because he just seems so sure of everything that he says. He's pretty much on the side of killing Tanjiro and Nezuko because they broke the law essentially, and he's just like, oh yeah, they need to die. Like, that's without a doubt. So pretty much what ends up happening is that the leader of the Demon Slayer Court ends up coming out saying pretty much, hey, look, these guys are okay. I know it's against the rules, but we're pretty much going to let this slide. Now, obviously, some of the Hashiras don't agree with that. One Hashira in particular, Shino Zugawa, the Wind Hashira, does not take very likely to this. Now, again, this is an order coming directly from the head of the Demon Slayer Court. Now, again, other Hashiras don't agree with this either. Shino Zugawa ends up taking upon himself to end up cutting himself to show that Nezuko isn't what she seems. A demon is a demon no matter what, she needs to be killed. So he ends up cutting himself to then pretty much put his arm to Nezuko to show that she will feed, she will try to kill humans. Obviously, Nezuko rejects it. She's not doing that, obviously. So after this, once all the other Hashiras realize that, okay, Tanjiro, Nezuko, they're cool, we'll let everything go. It is what it is. Tanjiro, Nezuko, and Inosuke and Zenitsu end up pretty much they need to get rehabilitated, because after the fight that they had on the mountaintop, they're done. You know what I'm saying? So they obviously have to get themselves up, heal up, and get ready for their next mission. Meanwhile, Muzan is pissed. He is pissed off because out of all the years since he has started the 12th Kizuki, the upper 6 have never been replaced, but the lower 6 have constantly been replaced over and over again for whatever reason, whether they've been killed or, whatever. There's always a reason of why he has to keep replacing the lower 6. Muzan feels that there is no more need for the upper 6 after Ru got killed. Now, one thing that I did forget to mention is how special Muzan's blood is. Tanjiro has to collect the blood of the 12 Kizuki, because not only is Muzan's blood special, so is theirs. Muzan has directly given blood to these 12 specific demons, but with that, these 12 demons can also create other demons, which is why Ru was able to create the family he was able to create. And after realizing that Ru was even defeated by Tanjiro, Muzan does not like the fact that there is someone not only killing the 12 Kizuki with these earrings, but the fact that he is still walking around. So not so much in a fit of rage that he decided to pretty much kill off the lower 6, but Muzan just realized that they're essentially useless. He'll keep the upper 6 as they are, but there's no reason for the lower 6 anymore. So as he's killing all these demons off, he leaves one left. This one demon that's left, he gives him more of his blood, and now this demon is becoming even more stronger. But he is the only one to survive, and Muzan gives him very strict orders. Bring him Tanjiro's head, and also you need to kill a Hashira. Now fast forward a few days, Tanjiro and everybody else fully healed and ready to go. And they have been given a new mission. Apparently some strange things has been happening on a very specific train And of course, they've been given a task to go find out what that is. But they aren't going by themselves. They're going with my favorite Hashira for right now, Rengoku. Now, as Tanjiro, Rengoku, Zenitsu, Inosuke board the train leaves the station, and of course, on top of the train, there lies the last of the lower Kizuki, there to fulfill his mission from Muzan. And there you go, guys. That's season 1. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, man. A little bit long-winded. Hopefully I hit on a good amount of the points. I know I might have missed maybe some middle school stuff. Again, I know I must have chopped and screwed with some names. I hope you guys can forgive me. But either way, guys, make sure you guys like the video. Also, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. And also, make sure you guys drop comments down below. Maybe there's some points that I can hit on when doing these type of videos. Or maybe not make the video so long. Who knows, man? You guys let me know in the comment section below. But either way, Joker fam, I hope you guys enjoy the content. Make sure you guys stay tuned for the next Demon Slayer review. Mugen Train, the movie. But I'll catch you guys in the next one. Alright? Peace.